Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the full speed version, and now this is going to be the walkthrough of the lap. Um, yeah, so without further ado, let's get right underway. Just turn the volume down, sorry. But anyway, first major part of the lap. So imagine you're in quali, you've turned on maxed everything. This corner here, it's very easy to invalidate and run wide. It's a double down shift to fourth. Ignore what this says if you're on manual gears. It's a double down shift to fourth and then as early on the power as you can. As you can see here, down to fourth, laying off the brake. Try not to go on this curb because it can unsettle the car. And then just as early on the power as you want to be. Try not to run. So that is like the absolute limit, is your right wheel on the white line. And other than that, it's just drift the car through, use the banking, completely flat. Okay, so first braking zone. Definitely, so we've gone over the line now, and we brake about here, so about 75 meters, as Sem would know. Hard on the brakes, turn in. Now, personal preference, I know here I don't, I would go third or fourth. Now that's just because you don't actually want to slow the car down that much. Like second gear is way too much for this corner. You're better off going to third or fourth, and then gently on the power, easing it on. You don't want to be applying max power to the wheels straight. See, we get a crack of oversteer. We were trying to put the power on too early, but luckily we save it. Don't use this curb because you'll lose time. Then moving on through the lap, you get to another major point of messing up ability. So here, it's a very peculiar corner. It's one downshift brake, just a dab of brake. You don't need too much because you can just let the car roll through. And then here, trying to use, this is the hardest bit on the track. You're trying to use the banking to help you. So as you can see here, we're coming in at quite a steep angle. Okay, so we've obviously gone through here, applying our throttle. You're just trying to straighten the wheel and then get it back down as quickly as possible. We're max brake here, down into, I believe, third gear, yeah? So as you can see here, we're just using this banking. We're not on the apex. Look at that wheel. We're just trying to rotate the car around and get on the power as early as possible because this banking allows the traction to be more heavy than you'd expect. So you can see we're on the power, and we're just letting the wheel straighten up naturally, but we're in full power in third gear, which is incredibly unusual. You're just trying to maximize the exit. You've got to be a bit brave on the entrance. You've got to just send it in a bit. You'll understand what I mean when I play it at normal speed, but you've got to just kind of send the car in. Downshift once, and hard on the brakes, send the car in, rotate it round, on the power as soon as possible. A little bit of oversteer, but nothing too serious. This is comfortably flat. You can abuse the track a bit here. If I just slow it down by running like this, this will gain you a tiny amount of time, nothing too major. Here is a considerably easy place to mess up. So it's a double downshift to sixth, a little dab of brake, nothing too major, and then just holding the car with about half throttle and roll on the max throttle. And then you can use the curb on the exit here. If you're a bit unstable, the car's feeling a bit wobbly, I wouldn't use this because it's very easy to unsettle the car if your tyre goes on the left-hand side. So try and avoid that. Then again, this track's full of difficult, maybe one or two downshift corners. So here it's a double downshift corner to fifth. Aiming for about here, apex-wise. You don't want to be too far over because as you can see, this is going to bounce the car and unsettle it. It's just a dab of brake, double downshift, then trying to ease the power on. You're basically going from 7th to 5th to 6th in very quick succession. Maximise the power. And then, again, you don't want to use too much of the curb because it's this double layered stuff. It'll throw you off balance. Then hard on the brakes here. This is a disgusting braking zone because the apex is kind of, as you can see, it's a bit You're kind of aiming to be about here, as you'll see. You're going down to third, and then it's all about trying to straighten the car up. Now, here is something very peculiar that I do. I'm going from third to fifth. So I go from third to fifth gear here. So I brake, use the engine braking down to third, but then I go to fifth. and that's because the traction here is disgusting. So I'm playing half throttle in 5th gear, and you can afford to go out wide here, just because it allows you to get the power on, and that short shift is just going to get the rears to grip, which is really hard around this corner for whatever reason. The traction's disgusting. And then another awful traction zone, down into 3rd here. Whatever you do, do not touch this curb in the race or qualifying, because it will throw the car right off. You want to get as close to using it as possible without hitting it, which is way easier said than done. And then it's another 3rd to 5th gear corner. Laying on the throttle nice and smoothly, activate the DRS. Then it's another short, sharp straight to one of the trickiest sections on the track. It's hard on the brakes. You can use the curb on the left, that's fine. You're in about 3rd and you're aiming to get the car here. As you can see, left tyre in line with the white. Sorry for the voice crack. 3rd gear. You can abuse this hump almost. Actually play it. As you can see, I really ride on it. And that's just going to try and straighten this up. And I'm on the power in 3rd. I'm getting back on the power before then braking in 2nd. And then it's just about trying to rotate the car, minimise understeer. You can see no throttle actually being applied. Then it's just gently rolling it on in 3rd. Maximise the exit. Try not to use the curb here, because it'll lose you some time. I lose a bit by using it, but if you go over, it's more of the double layered stuff. And then finally, it's the double downshift. I mess up here because I was really trying to get a 1, and I've been messing up for ages. So I mess up my gears by not downshifting twice when I should have, but we move. So I do like this really bad version of it, but it should be double downshift really quickly, max on the power. Roll the car through, DRS open, and across the line. So this particular lap time of 1:08.14 is the 100th on the leaderboard. It's a pretty tidy lap. There's definitely time for some improvements, but I think that's going to be a very, very solid lap time to base yourselves off. But yeah, thank you for watching. I hope it's been useful. I tried it with the hot lap at the beginning. At full pace. I hope, give me your feedback, and yeah, well done in China. Onwards and up.